Hey everyone. So, I want to tell you a story today. A few weeks ago, I had to book a couple of doctor's appointments inside of the mainstream healthcare system because while the mainstream and Western healthcare system isn't designed to help us heal, there is a time and place for it. And I still utilize the Western healthcare system to see some practitioners that help me maintain my optimal health and well being. So, I made a couple of phone calls, thought this would take a few minutes of my time to make these appointments. And 1 hour later, I had zero of three different doctor's appointments scheduled. The first phone call I made was to find a dermatologist appointment. The woman that I spoke with was extremely rude to me and actually sounded something like this. I said that I needed to make an appointment. I have a body that's covered in freckles. I would like to be evaluated just to make sure that everything looks healthy and well. And the reaction I got was, "Ugh, well, I hope you don't expect to be seen this year because we're not taking appointments until January." And I just simply said, "Well, is that your way of saying you're not currently accepting new patients?" Well, yes. And I just said, "Well, you could have just simply shared that with me. I will happily find an alternative solution." But why was that necessary? It wasn't necessary. We should have a healthcare system in which people feel cared for. And that includes every single professional that works within that system, whether they are a practitioner or not. At the end of the day, I made one out of three doctor's appointments inside of the Western healthcare system. And the one that I made isn't until November. And I'm recording this in August. I made these phone calls at the end of July. If we want answers, whether it's to manage pain or to heal, then we deserve to have those answers whenever we're seeking the answers, not 4 months down the road. Yet, this is the system that is keeping so many of us trapped and searching for answers that never seem to come. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Rogers. I'm a Harvard trained epidemiologist, and as a researcher, I studied the causes of health issues. I am an expert at identifying the root causes of health issues, and I'm an expert in chronic health and illness. After I spent over 15 years in the Western healthcare system, I became very disappointed in how often it fails patients. Now, in my private practice, I work one on one with clients who are tired of being told they can only manage symptoms, and I get them on a customized plan to finally heal. But like I was saying, so many people are bouncing from doctor to doctor, not finding the answers they need, searching for the answers to heal and be healthy, which I did once upon a time on my own journey. Another story for another day. But they're not getting answers to help them heal. They're simply being offered temporary management solutions, suggestions to merely manage pain and symptoms. And those suggestions to merely manage pain and symptoms are never going to help you heal because they're never going to target the root causes of whatever's got you stuck in less than optimal health because they're not designed to do that. On the other side of the coin, we have information overload online. You could go on to Google and Google yourself to death because if you are not a trained researcher like I am, you will not necessarily have the ability to discern what is reliable and trustworthy versus what is misinformation. So, between getting a lack of answers to help us heal from doctors inside of the mainstream system and an information overload online, it's leaving so many of you feeling hopeless, unwell, frustrated, angry, upset, probably very confused, and maybe even defeated. There is no excuse for a healthcare system that only manages pain in this day and age and doesn't help people heal. It's unacceptable. Part of the problem, like I said, is that doctors are not trained to heal. But the other part of the solution is that we as individuals need to take the power of our own health and well being, of our own ability to heal, into our own hands. But when you've been lost in searching for answers for so very long, you can feel trapped inside of a broken system. And you can choose on any day to set yourself free. So, how do you actually heal instead of just manage your symptoms? Well, first of all, you need to know the root causes of your health issues. And what's really important is that you understand that there are both physical and non physical root causes of your health issues. So while there may be toxins and pathogens that need to be addressed with physical, lifestyle, methods and approaches, there are also non physical root causes of your health issues. And I really want you to deeply understand that because you're never going to hear this from a mainstream practitioner, whether they're an epidemiologist, a doctor, a specialist of any sort, because they aren't trained to think about both sides of the healing equation. And what I want you to understand is that healing is just that, it is an equation. There is both an energetic side or non physical side to our health and well being, and there is a physical side to our health and well being. But so many practitioners, both inside of the Western system and even outside of the Western system, in the form of naturopaths or Ayurvedic practitioners or holistic coaches or practitioners, still stay focused on the physical part of your health and well being while ignoring the non physical part. Now, I find this very fascinating because it's just simple physics that everything is energy. So I would encourage you to go online and look up what's called the double slit experiment. This is one of the many reliable studies that shows and proves exactly what I'm saying to you to be true. It's just simple physics. Everything exists in an energetic or non physical state before it exists in a physical state. So, why are we focusing on the physical state rather than also focusing on the non physical state of our health and well being? In addition to that, there are a lot of external factors that impact your health and ability to heal. So it's important to number one, know the root causes of your health issues, but not just the physical root causes. It's important that you understand the non physical root causes because those are likely your blind spots. Those are likely things that are keeping you standing still, keeping you in less than optimal health, keeping you from moving forward and creating the health and life of your dreams. And it's really important that you work with a practitioner like me who is able to bridge the gap between those two parts of your health and well being. If you're just simply going to focus on the physical part of your health and well being, you're doing yourself a disservice. And so, any practitioner who isn't trained to focus on both sides of the equation with you, while they are certainly offering you some sort of support and benefit, if optimal health and well-being is your goal, then you're not going to be able to achieve that with that sort of practitioner. So once you know the root causes of your health issues, you need to know precisely how to heal them and how to avoid them. And that isn't just about the things that you do on the outside, right? It's not just about what to eat and what not to eat, what supplements to take and not take, what toxins in your environment to avoid and minimize. It's also about the non physical part of your health and well being. So, this brings us to simple psychology. Your identity is what drives your behaviors and your actions. And so, while it might also be important, and it is also important to address things like your mindset, your habits, your behaviors, if we're not addressing the identity that created those habits, those beliefs, those behaviors, those stories in the first place, then they're unlikely to be able to change completely and permanently. It's more likely that they're going to change temporarily. There's a really beautiful quote that I love that goes, first you create your habits and then your habits create you. So reflect on your own life today and take a look at your own habits and how many of them are serving you at this stage if optimal health and well-being is your goal. If not all of those habits are serving you, then it's really going to be important that we train your brain accordingly. So it's not just about repeating positive affirmations and changing your mindset, because it is important to do those things. However, if you're changing your mindset to repeat affirmations and use self talk that is not aligned with your identity, in the long run, it's not going to last and you won't be able to maintain it. Even if you're able to maintain it for an elongated period of time, eventually you will fall back into that identity that you currently have. So, this is why part of healing is more than just knowing the root causes of your health issues, both the physical and non physical, but it's about addressing the non physical root causes and the person that created them. Well, and how do we then change that person? Well, this is why the work I do, I always say, is not just about healing, it's about transformation, mind, body, and spirit, because you truly do transform who you're being, right? Because I bet that a lot of you listening would like to be somebody who just gets up every day and easily makes the choices that are the healthiest choices for themselves. I bet you would like to be the person who gets up every day and is confident, makes healthy choices, has healthy habits, and stays consistent and persistent with them, and has a healthy attitude, a healthy mindset, who loves themselves, who is an example to the others in their lives of what health and well being is like. But if you just do those things and change those behaviors and work on the external and stay focused there without addressing the internal part of your health and well-being, the energetic part, who you're being, then all of those things are not going to be changes that will last forever. And you will find that you will continue to fight what feels like fighting against yourself almost, right? Because when you're fighting against yourself, you're saying, there are three parts of our brain. And there are different ways to look at the brain, right? There are different lobes of the brain, but what I'm talking about are different sections of the brain. There is your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain that's listening to me right now, that's nodding her head and saying, yes, I get it. This makes sense to me. I relate to this. And then there is the limbic system, or the mammalian part of your brain, which is the emotional part of your brain. But then there is the reptilian part of your brain, the smallest and oldest part of your brain. That is what creates your habits. And the reptilian part of your brain doesn't know the difference between what's healthy and not healthy. What it knows is your habits, and it knows that your habits are needed for your survival. So if you're somebody who has gotten into the habit of eating junk food at night, for an example, then but you know that you want to be healthy and well, and you know that that behavior and that habit is not going to get you there and that you would like to stop it, then it's the prefrontal cortex that's saying, yes, this is unhealthy. I don't want to do this. I want to stop this. And I want to replace it with a healthy snack like a piece of fruit, or I just don't want to have the snack at all. But the reptilian part of your brain knows that having a snack at night is just a habit and you have to do it for your survival. And it tends to be the case that when those parts of our brain get into conflict with one another, the reptilian part of the brain wins out. And so we fall back into our habits. And it doesn't feel good when you want to get up every day and do the things you know are best and healthiest for you, but you find yourself fighting against those old habits or cravings or behaviors. That's not a good feeling. I've been there, so I completely understand. Again, other stories for other days. But you don't want to fight against yourself, right? You just want to get up and you want to make those choices with ease. And in order to do that, that means choosing to retrain your brain. So that is another part of creating optimal health and well being. So let's just review what I've gone over because I don't want to leave you with a video that's too long or too confusing. I want to just give you some really important, healthy, tangible takeaways. And giving you this introduction today is going to be helpful. So let's just review. How do you heal and achieve optimal health and well being if that is your goal? You need to know the root causes of your health issues, both the physical and the non physical. Then you need to know precisely how to heal them and then avoid them in the future. That means taking the power of your health and well being back into your own hands so that you can feel confident and in control. And in order to do that, you're going to have to not just change what you're doing on the outside as far as your lifestyle, you're going to have to look in the mirror. You're going to have to look at yourself, find your blind spots. You're going to have to identify the behaviors, the habits, the beliefs, the stories you tell yourself. Are you someone who believes that you are powerful enough to heal and create a life that's powerful, healthy, and free? That's important, right? So you also have to look at all the ways that you're being so that you can determine what ways you need to become to transform mind, body, and spirit so that you can have the optimal health and well being of your dreams. And in order to do that, you have to retrain yourself and create the identity and take on the identity of the person who can easily be all of the ways you know you need to be healthy and well, to heal at both the physical and non physical level. This is exactly the work that I do with my private clients in my private practice. And it is my soul's mission and purpose in this lifetime. You know, what I also know, and what we also do inside of my practice with my clients, what I also do, it's just me, is we also have to address the other factors that impact your health and ability to heal. Things like stress, your social support system, right? Your relationships, those things all impact your health and well being. Your environment, what is going on in your environment? What products do you use? What is your home and work environment like? What toxins and exposures do you have that are also harming your health without you potentially even realizing it? And how do we minimize and reduce those exposures? And how do we improve those factors so that you have the factors around you that will facilitate and support your optimal health and well being? Those are all really important topics and topics that I'm going to address and talk about in future live streams. But today, I just want to get the point across to you that there is a physical and non physical side to your health and well being. And that to have the optimal health and well being you want, you have to address both sides of the healing equation. And that means finding your blind spots, which are blind spots for a reason. And it doesn't mean you're able to necessarily find them all on your own, which is why you need to work with a healthcare practitioner or professional, whether it's a doctor, a coach, or anywhere in between. You need to work with somebody who is able to connect the dots and bridge the gap between the physical and energetic, or the physical and non physical sides of your health, so that they can help you create a roadmap to heal. That's exactly the work I do. It's an honor to be able to be here to do it. And you know, it's a big commitment to decide that you're going to transform your health and well being. But ask yourself, is it worth it to continue standing still and potentially be in the same place or even more unwell while you wait to decide that you are powerful enough, that you are confident enough to do this work and to truly heal at the root cause level. Because I know that what you don't want to do is continue to stand still or develop more health issues. I know you don't want to continue to survive in this vicious cycle of less than optimal health instead of truly living, looking, and feeling your best. So, if looking and feeling your best is your goal and creating optimal health and well being is your goal, then I highly encourage you to find a healthcare professional who is able to help you do exactly that. I'm always here to help you achieve those goals. You can schedule a discovery call with me in which we'll have a 20-minute call. You'll tell me all about your healing journey and the specific problems you're having, and I will listen. You'll get a customized healing roadmap, and I will tell you exactly step by step how we're going to solve those problems. And then, if it's a good fit, we'll work together inside of a 6-month program where you'll learn how to heal the root causes of your health issues. And we'll meet weekly online so that you can be guided to do the work to transform from the inside out. It is time for you to look and feel your best if that's what your goal is, and create a life that's powerful, healthy, and free. And it is such an honor for me to be able to be here to serve and support you all in this way. I am going to be recording a lot of these live streams coming up over the next several months to help continue to educate you on optimal health and well-being, what that is, what that looks like, and how you can achieve it if that is what your goal is. I am sending you all a lot of love, healing, and supportive energy today. And I hope that today is a day that you feel your best and you feel optimally healthy and well. We'll talk soon.